Oh yeah, we live. We live this evening. Special edition Sunday evening. Real talk, real conversation. 5 tips on how to have creator real work-life balance on YouTube. And we're starting right now. Hey, praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle, special edition, Sunday evening, real talk, real conversation with your boy here on the Huddle. If you're new here and you want to broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, then we want to welcome you to the show. This evening, we need to have a conversation, YouTube. We need to have a conversation here in the Huddle community. What this conversation is going to be about is simply this. We need to talk about how to have real creator work life and family balance as creators on YouTube. It's a real thing. It's a real issue that this Sunday conversation we need to have. We need to take the gloves off and have some real talk as creators, because the truth of the matter is most of us are in the grind. Most of us are in the press. We're really pressing hard to be able to get that next video that gets us the views, that gets us the growth on the subscribers. But what's happening is we're so much in the process. We're so much in the moment, trying to grab the moment, that we're losing perspective on what it means to have real creator work life and family balance. So I figure, hey, look, Sunday evening is a great time to have a little real talk and real conversation. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So if you're joining me this evening here on the Huddle on YouTube, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from, because I want you to be a part of this conversation, a part of Team Live as we have this conversation. And as you watch the replay of this, give us a hashtag replay and join the conversation on why we need to have real creator work life and family balance on YouTube. And that's what we're going to talk about. And so let's buckle up, let's buckle in and get started on this conversation on having real creator work life balance and family on YouTube as creators. 5 tips. Tip number 1 simply is, and I put it up here in the banner here, we got to recognize burnout as content creators. We got to recognize when we're experiencing the symptoms, and maybe we're experiencing the moment of burnout in our life, because burnout is something that really can really affect you, not only emotionally, not only mentally, but it can affect your physical health as a person, male or female. Burnout, unfortunately, has impacted people in various ways of life. People can feel burnt out on the job because they're putting in so many hours for a corporation, because they're trying to get a promotion. People can experience burnout in relationships. Unfortunately, sometime in marriage, because you can be going through with a person that you've been married with for a long time, or in a relationship with someone for a long time. And as a result, because you don't know how to give each other the proper space that one another needs to have, or respect one another's space, you end up experiencing burnout in the relationship. You can experience burnout even in the church, where you can be so faithful in the church, serving the Lord, doing everything as unto the Lord. But unfortunately, you start experiencing some church hurt. You start hearing about people talking about your back, people criticizing you, people unfortunately are not reciprocating the way that you are treating others. They're treating you differently. You can experience church burnout. But certainly in content creation as a YouTuber, you can experience burnout on YouTube because you're in the moment. You're in the process of trying to upload that next video. You're in the process of doing that next live stream. You're in the process of uploading that next short or that next video that you want to get views and subscribes, and you're putting in the work, you're putting in the effort, you're putting all what needs to be put in it to make it a quality video. But unfortunately, you don't see the results that you think you should have from it. And after a period of time, it starts to weigh on you. It starts to affect you. It starts to affect you emotionally and mentally and say, why ain't anyone watching my videos? Why am I only getting so many views? Why is not my channel growing and getting more subscribers like someone else in a similar niche or YouTube channel that I'm doing like someone else? And as a result, unfortunately, you allow the symptoms to burn out to end up starting to affecting you, that you start falling uh, a prisoner of the moment of the comparison trap. You start losing your creativity and your joy to do videos. You start to forget your why you're on YouTube. Why? Because you fail to recognize when you're starting to experience the symptoms of burnout. The symptoms of burnout can evenly be manifested even in mental health and mental crisis. In terms of one time you maybe was a person who was approachable, you was a person who didn't mind being around people, but after a while you start to withdraw and start to isolate yourself. Why? Because you're starting to experience the symptoms of creative burnout in your life, because I don't have a real understanding of creator work life and family balance. We're so much in the grind, we're so much in the process of wanting to make that next video, wanting to make that next short, get that next live stream up, because we want to get the views, we want to get the subscribers, we want to be successful on YouTube, but we are out of balance. Now, balance can mean a lot of things to a lot of people, but here's what balance means to me. Balance means to me is that, yes, uh, being successful in public is important to me, in my career, in my profession, in the church, in the community, but balance is just as more important to me in my relationship with God, in my relationship with my family, but most importantly, balance is important to me as a person, that I understand that my identity is not tied in numbers. My identity is not tied in my career, in my profession. My identity of who I am, my satisfaction and my peace that I get is not found in numbers and views and subscribers. My satisfaction, my peace in knowing who I am and who God called me to be, is where I get my true satisfaction and enjoyment and understanding in who I am. And when you have that in your life, you have balance. Now, I'm not saying that you're perfect. No one's perfect, but you have balance in your life and you're able to move forward, and you're able to move forward in the process of that what you're trying to do. Because the truth of the matter is, like they say, when things get out of balance, there's frustration. When things are out of balance, there is the lack of clarity. When there is things out of balance in your life as a creator and as a man or a woman, um, there is this feeling of a lack of peace on the inside of you as a person, and you start to try to feel that lack of peace, that emptiness that you're having by doing stuff, by doing things. But when the truth of the matter is, when you're out of balance, that's when you need to take a step back and say, hey, maybe I need to recognize what's going on. You know when you're not feeling right in your body, and you're starting to hurt, and you start to feel the symptom of the pain in your arm or in your shoulder or in your back. You're starting to feel these symptoms coming on where you're feeling a little warm, and you're starting to sneeze a little more than you normally sneeze. You start to recognize that you're not feeling well. Well, the same way you start to identify things are starting to get a little out of line with your body, you need to recognize your emotional and mental state when you're starting to feel burnt out. Because when you're starting to feel burnt out, that's a sign that you are not truly balanced in your life. You're not balanced as a creator. You don't have balance on work. Hey, when I was growing up as a young man, I watched my parents, how they both went to work each morning, got up 6 in the morning, got us ready for school, got us ready to get our clothes on, got us ready to eat breakfast and get us out the door to go to school. And then after that, my parents then went to work. My dad worked for the Detroit City Water Board Department, and my mom's worked for the Detroit City of Finance in downtown Detroit. So they instilled in me a worth ethic. They instilled in me a worth ethic that you got to go out there and work. But what I began to understand as I became an adult and I took that same worth ethic, I began to struggle though when there were times when I needed to have balance, when I needed to pull back from the overtime and the money and start getting some proper rest, because I'm going to work and I'm tired and I'm fatigued. I'm going to work and I'm feeling sick because I'm not balanced in my health. I'm so focused on the money. I'm so focused on the paper, on the job, for the promotion, for to purchase the next item that I want to get, that things are starting to be out of balance in my life. And as a result, I started to be affected by the burnout in my health and in my emotions and in relationships. And it's the same way as creators. It's the same way as creators, where we don't have that passion to want to get in front of the camera and push record and record the next video, because we're experiencing burnout. We're experiencing burnout, and it's affecting us when we go and try to do a live stream and we feel like we just don't have the energy to get in front of the camera, or the webcam, whatever you're using to be able to do your live streams and to add value and to give quality content to your community and to your viewers. Even if there is no viewer, even if there's a zero, that right now at this moment you still unfortunately experiencing burnout and you don't want to get in front of the camera. So we got to recognize when we're starting to feel burnt out. So what we're talking about this evening is 5 tips and understanding why we need to have creator, real work life balance and family in our lives on YouTube and in family. Because the truth of the matter is, YouTube is going to be here today, but YouTube can be gone tomorrow. I want you to think about it. There used to be something called MySpace. Remember, for those of you who were online back in the day, there used to be something called MySpace. MySpace is gone. MySpace is gone. And so, yes, Google is the number one search engine, and YouTube is the second largest search engine owned by Google. And you say, well, Walter, YouTube ain't going nowhere. But guess what? People said MySpace wasn't going nowhere either. But guess what? It's gone. But see, when something's gone, you can't allow your identity of who you are to be tied up in a platform called YouTube. Because if you start yourself being tied up in a platform called YouTube, or tied up in Twitter, or tied up in Facebook, guess what? You're gonna start experiencing burnout. And so I want you to grab a hold of this first tip and recognize: are you going through burnout? Are you going through burnout emotionally, mentally? Are you going burnout on your YouTube channel because you don't see certain views and subscribers um, on your channel? Maybe you're still new to YouTube and you only uploaded your 3rd video, and you're like, why no one subscribing? Hey, hold on there for a young buck. Well, put some sweat equity in the process and come back and talk to me later. Get your first 100 videos recording. Do a couple of live streams and come back, young buck, and talk to me later. You only got three videos. You still new to this. You still new to the process. So I'm talking to the vets this evening. I'm not talking with no disrespect to the young bucks, to the young sis, but I'm talking to the veterans of YouTube, the content creators. We got to recognize burnout. Tip number 2: Hey, if we're going to have real creator work-life balance and family balance in our lives here on YouTube and in our life, hey, look, you got to schedule time. You got to schedule your time. There it is. You got to schedule your time uh, in the process of creating content. Maybe Monday, you use Monday as the time to be able to work on your video ideas. Sit down, grab yourself a notebook, a pen, and a paper. Back in the days when I used to do hip hop and write some rhymes, as much as I wanted that hip hop rap song to be perfect just like that and ready to be pressed on wax and be the next Rakim from Eric B and Rakim, the next Daddy Kane from Big Daddy Kane. I had to take the time and go to pen to paper and put the rhyme together. Well, guess what? If you want to make the next YouTube video that's going to give you about minimum 50 views or at least 100 views and get you a couple of subscribers, well, guess what? You got to put pen to paper. You got to come up with some video ideas that are going to answer specific questions for your audience. You got to go to pen to paper. And then maybe Tuesday, now that you got your video ideas, you start working on your thumbnails. Schedule your time so that way you can start working on your thumbnails, because if the thumbnail game ain't where it needs to be, you upload the video, then what's happening is you look in your analytics and you're getting all these impressions, but your click-through rate ain't where it needs to be. And unfortunately, nobody clicking on the video. Hey, I'm telling you firsthand, I've been there, done that, and wore a couple of t-shirts behind it. But after a while, I got into my analytics and say, okay, we got to work on this thumbnail game. And I'm still working on how to make good quality thumbnails that's going to get a person to stop scrolling on the phone or stop scrolling on their page and click on the video. And then once I got the click, then I got to produce. I got to produce the goods on why this is a quality video. Or you're probably seeing the notification that we're live this evening on this Sunday edition, Sunday evening on Real Talk, Real Conversation on how to have real creative work life and family balance on YouTube. I got to produce the goods now to get you to engage with me on the chat. You know what I'm saying? So I got to schedule time. Got to, come up with the video ideas. I come up with the thumbnail. And then after I do all that, it's time to shoot the video. In my case, when I do my live streams, after I've come up with my video ideas, I've come up with my thumbnails, I've reached out to my guests to make sure that they're good to go, forward a copy of the runner show notes to them. Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go live with the Huddle. And we bring on great guests to talk about YouTube and content creation on helping you to broaden your reach, your impact, your income through online video. I got to produce the goods. But all of that's only possible by me scheduling time. And I get it. We especially in these uncharted waters that we're living and sailing in, these difficult times where, we're coming out of a pandemic. And I get it, family. There are some families at one time where they had two incomes. Now people are struggling with one income. There were some times where people had two incomes, and now there's no income coming in at all because now they got to depend on government assistance. Hey, I've been there. But you're trying to get on YouTube because someone's saying, hey, look, you can go become a full-time YouTube creator. And you can create content and make money online. And you can do that. But that ain't something that's going to happen overnight, because the truth of the matter is you got to schedule time. You got to put in the time to come up with the video ideas. You got to come up with the time to work on the thumbnails. You got to come up on the time and do the shooting of the videos or doing the live streams. Then you got to do your editing. You got to schedule your time. And if you schedule your time, and you recognize when you're starting to feel burnout, then you're able to have real creator work life and family balance on YouTube as a YouTuber, as a content creator. Hey, if you're getting great value, as we always say here on the channel, and listening to this content, to this conversation and discussion, I need you to do me a favor. Let me know in the chat where you're watching me from on YouTube. Also, smash the like button by clicking the thumbs up button for me. Click the thumbs up and share this on your favorite social media channel for me. If you can do me that favor, because we're talking about 5 tips on how to have real creative work life and family balance on YouTube. Let's get into tip number 3. Tip number 3, got to understand your season. Understand the season of your life. And that this is something that I've had to really learn in my early days of YouTube creating content, because I was looking at the big name YouTubers. I was even fortunate enough to bring some of the big name YouTubers onto the Huddle, and I was like, okay, boom, okay, things are finna start taking off. Man, I got such and such. Benji Travis from Video Influencer, co-author of YouTube Secrets on the Huddle. Bam, things are gonna start taking off, and I'm gonna start seeing the views, and I'm gonna start seeing the subscribers. Man, I got Dan Currier from Creative Fundamentals, host of People of Video on the Huddle. Man, things are going to take off. Man, I got Steve Worthy from Podcasters Live on the show. Things are going to start taking off. And the truth of the matter is, I still had to put in the work. I still had to put in the sweat equity. I still had to put in all that need to be done as a content creator, because I didn't understand my season. I didn't understand the truth of the matter is, springtime is a season where it's a season of planting. It's a season of planting good seeds. And when you plant good seeds in a ground, it's got to be good ground. It's got to be fertile soil. And once you plant something, it's not something that's going to grow and produce fruit and produce a harvest in 7, 10 to 21 days. It's going to take a moment for that seed to produce. It's going to take a moment, because that seed is not just going to produce one piece of fruit. That seed is not only going to produce one ear of corn. That seed is going to produce a bushel of corn. That seed is going to produce an orchard or an apple tree. If it's an apple seed, it's going to produce after its kind, it's going to produce more. So I needed to understand that I was in the spring season, and then I went into the summer season where it's hot, where the heat is hot, and I'm working in the heat, and I gotta constantly water that seed. I gotta constantly remove the weeds of self-doubt, and the weeds of questioning yourself, that can you really do this? The weeds of, man, maybe this is not for me, and maybe it's time for me to quit YouTube and do something else, because I'm not gonna be fortunate to be successful. But I had to remove the weeds in the summertime to eventually get to the fall where the harvest was. And the harvest was where I started to see some growth on the channel. I started to see some subscribers on the channel. I started to see some views of my first video of getting over 100 views, where before I was only getting 1 to 2 views. Now I'm getting maybe 100 to 150. I'm starting to see some growth in this YouTube. Okay. And that was the fall season, but I had to understand the season. And then it was the winter season, where it's just right now, where it's snowing, it's cold. It's the winter season. Things have died, and it just, the trees, no, the leaves have all fallen off the trees now, and it's cold. The temperature is cold. Sometimes being on as a content creator on YouTube can be very cold. If you know what I'm saying, drop in the chat what I'm saying. Hashtag what season? No, hashtag know your season. Hashtag know your season as a content creator. And that's what I had to understand. Because when you don't understand the season of your life, it's going to affect you being able to have real work life and family balance in your life. When you don't understand the season of your life, what you understand, you then know how to be able to move forward in. But when you lack the understanding of something, when you lack the clarity of something, that's when you're going to deal with the frustration. That's when you're going to deal with the questioning and the doubting. Is this really for me? Is Can I really do this? Is someone really going to watch and listen to my content? Those times when you have a live stream and ain't nobody listening, you glance over and there ain't nobody there, and you got those questions in your mind. Is this really for me? Because it's the winter season. But the truth of the matter is, you need to understand the seasoning you're in so that you can have real work life family balance as a content creator. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this discussion that we're having, how to have real creator work life balance, I need you to do me a favor. Let me know in the chat where you're watching me from on YouTube this evening. I need you to smash the like button, click the thumbs up, and share this live stream this evening on your favorite social media channel. Oh, as a matter of fact, we got to give a shout out to my man, Mr. Walter Rush. Walter Rush is in the house. Food for the soul. Yes, sir. He is in the house. Let me pull my man up. What was he saying here? If I can get this, I think I really need to look at getting me a stream deck. Cause see, I'm doing stuff here with this mouse, and sometimes I'm all over the place. Okay, there we go. I took him down. Oh yeah. Oh yes. There he is. What's up, fam? Food for the soul, Mr. Walter Rush, man. What's your thoughts on tonight's conversation, man? Have you been struggling with having real creative work life balance in your life? Are you been struggling on work or with family on YouTube? What's your thoughts, Walter, on tonight's conversation? I would really love your feedback on it, because this is something as content creators we need to have a real talk. We need to have a real conversation about. And so we gotta recognize burnout, as we talked about. We need to also not only recognize burnout, but we have to schedule time to do content creation, and we have to be able to understand the season that we're in as content creators. Tip number 4 that I got for you as soon as I pull up. um, there are times we need to take time to unplug. Now, Walter, and those of you who are just joining me on YouTube, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. This is something I struggle with as a content creator. I do. Again, it kind of goes back to the work ethic that I have in terms of wanting to be successful, the work ethic to want to go on job, and I'm working for money instead of money working for me. I'm trading time for money instead of me being able to let money work for me. And there would be times when I would be at work, and when it would come times to take a vacation, I don't take the vacation like I should, and I got extra time, and I'm not taking the time to really spend time with family, and I'm barely making recitals for my daughter. I'm barely making things for family, because I'm not willing to take time to unplug, because the truth of the matter is I'm busy trying to get that next view. I'm trying to get that next subscriber. I want to grow the channel, and it was affecting me. And Walter says, yes, I'm back in college, and it's been a hard to do both. Yeah, it's right. Trying to find balance if you're on school and you're doing YouTube. And the truth of the matter is, as much as we have these aspirations to want to do well on YouTube, our education is more important. Getting that you say, well, man, you know, individuals, there've been individuals who went to college and they end up being successful. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's either one of the two individuals, either Sean or Benji, if I recall. They went, one of them went to college, and they eventually didn't finish college, and now look at how both of them are successful. Well, that may have been the case for them. That may not necessarily be God's will for you and me. And having our college degree, I've always believed having a college degree, accomplishing a certain level of training, online training, just gives us the permission to be able to walk through the next door. It may not necessarily increase the salary right away, but it's going to give us the permission to walk through the next door. Let me see some of these comments. Walter is including him. I'm learning time management. Oh yes, we have to learn time management. Is very important for us. It's very important for us to learn time management. We got to learn time management because that's the only way we're going to have real work life and family uh uh balance in our life. Time management. And we're so busy trying to manage our time for an employer and getting certain things done in an 8-hour period that we fail to manage our time when it comes to family. And that's why I said taking time to unplug, sometimes even to get off the computer. My family is constantly saying, I'm okay right now because they're not here right now. They not here right now because they're busy doing some stuff, which right now my wife is saying, sending me a text message right now as I'm doing this YouTube, right? And they're constantly like, "Man, you doing another live stream? You doing another live stream?" Because it's as much as I felt yesterday's live show was good. I just wasn't satisfied with yesterday. Let me just put it out. I wasn't satisfied with yesterday's show and some of the numbers that I started to see coming in. So I said, "Hey, maybe I need to just come on this evening and do another live stream show with just me and the community because." There's certain numbers I want to see with this live stream. There's certain things I want to see with the huddle that is going to add value to the community. So I was willing to take the time while they're not here and to come on. I scheduled it, and so now I'm here. But the truth of the matter is, I got to learn how to unplug. If that's you listening to me in the chat, hashtag learn to unplug. I need you to give me a hashtag learn to unplug. You know, I gotta learn to unplug and step away from YouTube because, like you said, when you got college and you're trying to do YouTube to upload the next video because your audience is looking for that next video that you promised on bro. I seen a couple of your videos, man. Seen a couple of your videos on steak fries, bruh, and I'm looking for part 2 on how to make some slamming steak fries. But at the same time, you got to balance it out. You got to balance it out and you got to learn to unplug. Hey, I need you to do me a favor. If you're getting great value on this live stream on 5 tips on how to find creator, work life, and family balance, I need you to click the thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media channel, smash the like button. And if you haven't had an opportunity yet to subscribe to this channel where we help you to broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, then we want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. And to those of you who are part of Team Replay, who are going to watch the replay of this video, of this live stream, we want to give you much love. Give us a hashtag learn to unplug in the comment section. So we've talked about recognizing burnout when you're going through burnout. We've talked about how to schedule the time that you need as a content creator, whether if you are loading your working on your latest video or doing a live stream, and at the same time you got to go to college like Walter, or if you got to go to work and work a 9-to-5 job, or you got to spend time with your spouse, with the children, with parent teachers conference or for report card. You got to learn to schedule the time, and then you got to understand your season, and then you got to take time to unplug. My next point simply is, you ready? It's not rocket science. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy your time off. When God provides you a season, sometimes we're asking God for the blessing. I just need a moment of rest. I need a moment for me just to where people ain't pulling on me. I don't have people pulling on me. I don't have the notifications constantly flashing on my phone. I don't constantly have emails and text messages going off. Enjoy the time off, that moment of quietness. Now, that time of time off could be, yes, a couple of days from the job, but that time off could be a moment of just quietness in the house. And you just got to just sit still and just enjoy it. Your thoughts ain't racing about the next video idea that you got to put on paper to come up with 3 bullet points, and your thoughts ain't racing about the next thumbnail. Enjoy the time off of just having a moment to yourself of quietness. Because when you it's said, people say, that those who like to walk in the park and in nature, and they just put their phone on silence and they're just walking in the park, and there's only very few people that are around, and they're just around nature, they can just enjoy the moment of peace, a moment of quietness, so that they can have, a better perspective on life. Maybe you're the type of person who likes to go walk by the beach early in the morning, where the water is kind of crashing up against the beach, but it's just you and a few people out there. Enjoy the time off that you got from this busy, demanding world. We live in a very noisy world that we're trying to get people, as Michael Hyatt says, to listen to the platform that we're trying to build. But we feel like, because out of so much effort and work that we putting in, that people are not paying attention at this moment. And so maybe it's a timeout moment for us to step back, to take a pause. For those of my hip hop fans back in the day, was when Run DMC made the song called Pause. For my hip hop uh, fans out there who used to remember the days of pause, or for my biblical scholars who hear the word Selah, which means quiet, calmly think about what was said in the scripture before, in the book of Psalms. Take a moment to enjoy the time off, to constantly being plugged in. Take a moment to just back off and let things kind of unfold itself, so that you can be able to move forward on that what you're trying to do on your channel, so you can have clarity. Let me go down here. I got another comment. Appreciate you, Walter, chiming in on this conversation with me. Walter says, boom, boom, boom. About to head out, about to share and hit the hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that, Walter. Thank you so much for having a conversation with me, being a part of Team Live, and I really appreciate it. And those of you who are watching the replay of this, give me a hashtag. Take a moment. Hashtag take a moment. Take a moment. Take a moment just to back up for a moment and assess what's going on. Do you have real work, life, and family balance in your life as a content creator? Because we have to have real balance in our life. When we're out of balance, there is no clarity. And if I don't have any clarity, then it's going to communicate itself in my videos. It's going to communicate itself in my live streams. It's going to communicate itself in the online content creation that I'm making. And then my viewers are going to see that, and they're going to say, hey, your viewers are going to see that and say, hey, what is this? What is this? and the next, before you were saying I'm getting X amount of likes, now you're starting to get dislikes. And none of us are perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you gotta hit a home run every time. You gotta go 10 for 10 every time. Sometimes there's gonna be those moments where you only get 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, and that's opportunity for growth. But I'm talking about for those times when you kind of go in that stretch of that moment, when you're in where things are just, you're in a season right now where things are just not clicking, and now maybe you need to take a time and just have a time or just to pause, to enjoy the time off. And so that way, when you come back, you can say, okay, I'm going to come back, but I'm going to come back with some real balance in my life. So just wanted to come on this evening, have a real conversation with you, have a little real talk with you. And I appreciate Walter Rush being a part of the conversation. Check out his channel, Food for the Soul. If you are interested in being able to have some great dishes and foods created for yourself and your family, some soul food, but you're gonna get some food for the just for you, not only for your stomach, but he gonna give you some food for your soul with a little word of God with it. So check out his channel. And those of you who are a part of Team Live, if you're checking in, let us know in the chat where you're watching this from, because we've been talking about this evening about 5 tips how to have real creator work life and family balance on YouTube. And if you're on the replay, hashtag Team Replay. So that's all I got for you. There's our 5 tips. Definitely, this is one for Team Replay. And so I appreciate you all checking us out this evening here on the Huddle. We are back Saturday morning, 11 a.m. And we're working on our next guest for the Huddle. But if there's no guest, hey, it's myself and the Huddle community, and we will chop it up. And so we're gonna go ahead and bring this Sunday conversation to a close. And question of the day simply is, are you struggling to have real work life and family balance in your life as a content creator? Drop down in the comment section and let us know your feedback on this, and what steps are you doing to make sure you have real creative work life and family balance. Give us that feedback in the comment section. So that's it for this real talk, real conversation, special Sunday edition of the Huddle with your boy Walter Strong. And so as we close out, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is God's purpose that will prevail in your life if you let it prevail and let his purpose come forth. We will see you, God willing, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on the Huddle. Oh, we got get ready to close out. There we go. Get that cute. We'll see you next week.